Straight ahead, how the sun coincides with our recent weather activity, while the stars give us insights into our solar system. Severe winter conditions affecting our driving, cold climates that influence the hunt, plus an inside look at the upcoming Christmas tree crop, and my projection of snow heading into the next month and 2025.
Fox 2 and Ameren, Illinois present Glenn Zimmerman's Winter Weather Outlook.
And welcome to the Winter Weather Outlook. I'm Chief Meteorologist Glenn Zimmerman. Are you ready for winter? Our team of meteorologists certainly is. Chris Higgins, Angela Huddy, Jamie Travers, John Fuller, and Haley Fitzpatrick. We'll start with the sun and all of its energy, worthy of an hour-long weather special for sure. But its energy cycles give us clues about the weather here on Earth. Chris Higgins explains.
It would be easy to take our sun for granted. To the naked eye, it has looked nearly the same for millions of years. But when you take a closer look, our sun, like our weather, is constantly changing.
Sometimes there's solar flares, and sometimes there's these things called coronal mass ejections that come out with it. And so there can be different amounts of activity. Sometimes it's a little faster, sometimes it's a little slower, sometimes it's a little denser, sometimes it's a little hotter.
Dr. Mike Nowak is a research professor at Washington University. He says despite the chaos of the sun, there's actually some order in all of that solar activity.
About roughly every 11 years or so, the activity on the sun goes from peak to peak. And so over about 5 or 6 years, it goes from a peak down to a minimum and then back up to a peak.
And right now, the cosmic rhythm, better known as the solar cycle, is at peak performance.
The solar maximum is when we think we've hit the peak number of sunspots. And so this year we've hit a peak about 250 sunspots.
With the arrival of the solar maximum, we stand a really good chance of seeing more of this, those beautiful aurora borealis or the northern lights, very similar to what we saw during the summer months a couple of times. And that's because the sun's going to continue to send out those big high energy explosions towards the Earth, and those high energy particles, as they flow through space, will get intercepted by the Earth's magnetic field. Some will get redirected to the North Pole, some will get redirected to the South Pole. And as those high energy particles interact with the upper atmosphere, we get those amazing colors of the northern lights.
Those big solar explosions can also bring big headaches, according to NASA heliophysicist Dr. Kelly Korrick, because those high energy particles do not play well with, among other things, electronics.
Space weather is something that we are studying so that we can mitigate all of the things that could happen. We have so much technology that's based on electricity and based on these long wires that can get supercharged by all these other particles. We do have to make sure that we mitigate and understand our power grids, our communications, our astronauts, and our astronaut health and safety.
One thing Dr. Korrick says will not be impacted significantly by the solar maximum are sensible weather here on Earth.
The changes of the inputs from the sun, they're actually less than a 15-watt light bulb change over that time, really isn't a significant driver of climate.
'Tis the season for hunting, and the weather plays a huge role on the success of the hunt. Haley Fitzpatrick has more.
Our extreme winter pattern, not only is it extreme for us, but also for wildlife, as they tend to take on treacherous routes in the wintertime to find environments most suitable for them. The weather can have a direct influence on animal movement, and that can correlate to the success of gaming.
The weather has a humongous impact on animal behavior because they are literally living in the weather even more than we do.
Changes in our weather have a direct influence on animal behavior, and this often warrants a change in strategy and certain tactics for those who endure hunting deer.
A lot of times you'll see more activity among wildlife as well. They might be out foraging more aggressively to get food. They may be seeking shelter if they sense a storm may be coming. In the winter, if they feel that there may be a snow snow coming, like you'll see a lot of birds congregating around bird feeders a lot and getting more food in anticipation of a snow coming.
Other weather conditions, including the wind, that actually may benefit animal movement. However, animals heavily rely on their sense of smell and can often lead to deer becoming more cautious and seek shelter. Our extreme temperature, that may be the result of decreased animal activity.
If it's really, really warm, sometimes animals don't move around that much. They don't feel the need to do that. Or if it's excessively cold, they may be hunkering down. Or if the weather's severe rain or snow, they may be hunkering down. So when it's kind of cool, that's when you do see a lot of deer activity.
Heavier snow may warn animals to change their survival strategies, forcing some deer to share trail systems to better conserve energy. The Missouri Department of Conservation administers more than 900,000 acres of land throughout the state and track migrating animals through observations.
We do things like spotlight surveys for deer, where we will go out at night and look for deer and use spotlights, in this case, to count deer. And we can get some idea. We have population models we can put those numbers into and get an estimate of how many deer are out there.
The Mo Outdoors app is a free downloadable app for your smartphone that helps you find conservation areas to explore.
It uses your smartphone's GPS technology to help locate where you are, and then it's able to feed you areas that are close by and tell you where you can go hiking and fishing and various other activities.
The hurricane season and Christmas trees go hand in hand. We'll explain coming up. Plus, it's the worst, driving on ice. Welcome back, and I'm just going to say it. The worst of winter weather is sleet and ice, and driving on it is not easy at all. So what do you do when you literally find yourself on a skating rink? Here's John Fuller.
Last winter, this fire truck went viral as it slid down a hill in an icy neighborhood. A year later, it's back in service with some lessons learned. What was going through your mind during the icy slide?
My biggest fear was I didn't want to hurt anybody. I didn't want to hurt my guys on the truck. I didn't want to run into a house, basically. That was a big concern of mine, just trying to keep it under control as best as I possibly could. I wouldn't say I was afraid. I was nervous more than anything. But yeah, I mean, there's always a little bit of being scared in the back of your head, just, you know, what's going to happen, what's going to be the result.
What did Kevin learn from this event?
Try and stay calm the best you can, rely on your training.
What should we all try to do?
Take your time, especially. That's the biggest thing, I think. A lot of people are in such a big rush nowadays. They're always wanting to get places in a hurry. If you see a road that's on a hill or anything that's shiny, definitely use caution when doing that, because it could be ice, and it doesn't take very much to have your vehicle start sliding.
Corporal Bolton of the Missouri Highway Patrol has seen many accidents. We asked him similar questions, and he says for most, the plan is simple.
The biggest thing is for those who don't need to leave the house, then just stay in.
Corporal Bolton reminds us, make sure your vehicle is in good working order. But what if you encounter ice you can see in an auto or SUV that have the advantage of ABS brakes and not air brakes like our fire truck?
So if there's ice on the road, you should be going slow anyway. Obviously, if you see the ice in front of you, don't slam on the brakes, don't accelerate, just kind of coast through it. Obviously, if someone's in front of you, give yourself enough room between you and the person in front of you that if you for some reason do need to put the brakes on, you're not just gonna keep sliding right into them.
What if you do slide off the road?
The safest place for you is gonna be to remain inside your vehicle. And you're a lot safer inside your car than you are outside of your car. Stay in, call 911.
IDOT and MoDOT websites can help you avoid treacherous winter driving conditions by scanning this QR code. Or you could just stay home until conditions improve.
Okay, so now I've got a personal question for you. Are you a fan of the real tree or the fake tree? Or maybe you have both. Either way, the live tree, of course, solely dependent on the weather. Here's Jamie Trappers.
From local cut-your-own Christmas tree farms to the tree supply nationwide, recent weather has had some impacts on this Yuletide tradition.
Victoria Meert of Meert Tree Farm in Festus, a 61-year-old local business, said their fields are looking great this year.
This is the best our fields have ever looked in probably about 15 years.
This fall, they've been blessed with more rain than many other places in our region.
We didn't have any rain in the month of October, but in the month of September, we had 10 inches down here.
And another 11 inches in early November.
Our pumpkins hated it. Our Christmas trees love it.
Meanwhile, Lynn Sullivan, owner of Sullivan Farms Christmas Trees, gets his trees from growers all across the country and even Canada. His growers up in Washington and Michigan say their trees have done well this year.
Even when there's a drought, they have irrigation. They say that rainwater is the best water on trees to grow. The trees really budded out good this year. They have really good growth to their trees. They're a little bit heavier this year, so that's all a good sign for us.
One concern when it comes to getting trees to the region is from the growers in North Carolina.
One of my suppliers that we buy from said they lost about 7,500 trees. The bigger problem than probably the loss of trees because of rain is the logistics of getting to the trees, because it washed all the roads inside the farm out, and so they're hard to get.
Meert also sources a tractor-trailer load of trees from flood-impacted areas, which will be late.
They were saying that our semi is going to be probably about 2 to 3 hours delayed, because they're going to have to, on top of whatever it was delayed already, just because of getting the semi around the roads that are no longer there.
While Meert brings in those Fraser firs to the farm, they specialize in the cut-your-own Christmas tree experience, growing over 75 acres of trees.
We stick with the hardier trees. We stick with the Norways, we stick with the white pine and the Scotch pine. They can handle our weather and they can handle our clay ground.
Sullivan says Christmas tree shortages of years past made it tough to get certain size trees, but this year it seemed easier.
Now we'll have 7/8, 8/9s, 9/10s, all the way up to 25 foot.
Another interesting bonus will be Sullivan's supply of concolor firs. Some years he can't get any. They're sensitive to the cold, late spring temperatures, which his growers up north didn't experience.
We will have a good supply of them this year. They're affected mainly by the frost, the late frost. They're come out of Michigan.
So there will be plenty of beautiful trees to go around, both those grown locally and your classic firs. At Meert Tree Farm, you'll be able to cut your own tree beginning on Black Friday. Sullivan's Farm's Christmas tree locations open up on November 23rd.
Coming up, we've already talked about the sun, but now we're going to shoot for the stars. Plus, my winter forecast. Welcome back. Much of our December is looking forward. We're looking forward to Christmas. We're looking forward when we forecast the weather. But there are some this December who are not just looking forward, they're looking up. Here's Angela Huddy.
So you want to learn about stargazing? Well, come to the library. There's, of course, a book for that. But what if they could also give you the tools you need to look to the heavens?
So what's really cool about this particular telescope?
For 10 years, the St. Louis Astronomical Society has partnered with local libraries to do just that. Make telescopes available for checkout.
It's grown to over 230 telescopes and 140 binoculars. We are the largest in the world right now. I can come over here and I can look in here.
At the St. Louis County Library, the program was an immediate success.
We added 13 more telescopes within a little over a year because we have 500 holds at that point. So it was a program that clearly the community was really hungry for.
To date, telescopes have been checked out more than 3,800 times.
It's a really wonderful program that allows us to introduce our patrons to other things they can check out at the library as well.
Musical instruments, pickleball kits, and Wi-Fi hotspots are just some of the other non-traditional materials you can check out from the county's Library of Things.
Well, as they say with a lot of library services, I didn't know that you could do that with the library.
To celebrate the telescope anniversary, the county library has been hosting star parties.
For the most part, that operating the telescope is pretty easy to do. The trickier part will be what's up in the sky and how do you find it.
Attendees get space-themed snacks, free telescope training, and the opportunity to view the night sky with the aid of astronomy enthusiasts.
The St. Louis Astronomical Society really works with us to find the nights where there's optimal viewing so that people can really get something out of the experience.
No matter how much you read and no matter how much you try to do something on your own, it takes about 30 seconds for someone to point you the right direction and say, yep, that's what you're supposed to do, and suddenly you're just going crazy on your own.
The program has telescopes available at libraries on both sides of the river. Patrons find the telescopes easy to operate and are excited by the amazing views of the solar system they get.
There's no electronics except a little red dot finder. It is not unusual to have an 8-year-old child in 2 minutes operating this and in 5 showing their parents how to use it.
Adult library patrons are able to check out a telescope for 7 days. The program's popularity means you might find yourself on a waiting list but it's worth the wait.
Who doesn't enjoy looking at the stars and learning more about our night sky?
Coming up, it's time. We're talking winter and snow and cold. The forecast is up next. Welcome back, and it's time to talk about the winter forecast. And you can't look ahead until you look back at the pattern that's set up. And this pattern is just a little weird. Winters in St. Louis have been getting milder. Over the past several years, there have been very few big snowstorms and only small amounts of cold air. Chris talked about that solar cycle and the path forward. I think that's one of the bigger factors involved in this outlook. That and the rapid cooling of ocean temperatures could throw things a little bit out of whack this year. It's always a challenge, so let's dive in. The trends over the last few months have us a little nervous about December. Long stretches of dry time in June, then giant rain in July. August was dry and September started dry, then big rain at the end of the month. October and now November, the same. Big precip events. So that trend in December could be interesting. Recent events aside, I think the first half of the month of December will be very un-December-like, and then it won't. A couple of fronts could bring the temps down and the chance of snow to St. Louis. There looks to be a couple of snow chances right before Christmas and one right after. So I'm leaning towards a white Christmas this year, with also some travel issues before and after. Last Christmas we had some rain events early in the month, then rain on Christmas Day. Snow was light and mostly after the holiday. This December, look for some spots of rain early, then big transitions before Christmas that could lead to some snow chances by Christmas Day. Temps were mild on average last year, finishing about 8 degrees above normal. This December, we are mild to start, then cold at the end. As you probably know, January is the coldest month of the year, but the coldest days on average are January 5th to roughly the 23rd. This year, I think we're right on that track. The cold air from the end of December sticks around for a few weeks in January. Look for highs to be in the 20s and 30s early in the month until about the 20th or so. After that, it warms up a little, something that we like to call the January thaw. What concerns me is the transitions into the cold and the transitions out of the cold. Those are spots where snow or ice can be a threat. So this year, look for snow early in the month, then snow or sleet mid-month as we start to work in some of that warmer air. Last January, we had some big-time cold in the middle of the month. You remember the 14th? We had a high of 3 and a low of -7. This January, we're cold at the beginning of the month and then warmer toward the end, on average pretty close to normal. Last year, we had several small snow events that brought the total of 5.5 inches for the month of January. This year, I think we have some snow chances as we transition into and out of the cold air. Let's watch for the end of the month for either a bigger snow or maybe some ice. Two great things about February. It's the shortest month, although sometimes it feels like the longest. But also this, we increase the daily amount of daylight by 2+ minutes per day. So we'll have that going for us. But the way the global patterns will set up this winter, there's quite a bit of cold air in Canada, and that will get released in waves late in the season. So look for shots of cold air to pound down in from the north. Each shot could bring a snow potential, but in that scenario and that pattern, we won't get a ton of snow with each front. We'll have to see if a four-corner storm rolls in from the southwest. That's usually where we get our biggest storms. Last February was extremely mild with 60s and 70s, and the 86 we had for a high at the end of the month. This year, it's colder, by far. Waves of cold will drop in from the north, keeping our temperatures below normal for much of the month. February 2024 snow was limited to just one storm of 3 inches. Too mild for snow for that month. But this year, it's colder, so snow chances are better, especially if we get into a pattern that can access more moisture. And that's a look at winter. And remember this, we have a team of meteorologists here, the largest team in St. Louis, with over 100 years of forecasting St. Louis winters. I'm Chief Meteorologist Glenn Zimmerman. Thanks for watching.